Hey everyone, welcome to Empower Team Monday Night Call. I am Natalie Dolan. I'm here with Tova Privet, and she is the two of us are kind of going to talk to you about duplication tonight. Ultimately, that's what it is, but we're going to be talking to you practically about how to multiply your numbers, and Tova's she's gonna take it away. What did we decide to call it, Tova? It's pretty much a duplication system.
How about I talk on it and then you guys tell me what we should call it?
we got it. We got it from some other people who have a different name for it, which is not super clear. So we kind of want to change the name of it. So we'll decide. It's pretty much our duplication system, right? All right. And I have a story about this to share after I used the system tonight, right before this call. So I'll let you take it away, Tova.
Cliffhanger. Okay, guys, thanks for coming. So, a lot of what I'm going to talk about tonight, you have heard in bits and pieces. None of this is like an epiphany, something brand new. But the way these ladies kind of organized the thought process, I think we've made things complicated a lot of times. We all do that. This kind of simplifies it. So, the gist of everything I'm going to talk about really comes down to one sentence, and that is your job's not done until you've got plus one. So, what we're going to do is kind of add this into our onboarding process. And so it really begins during sign up. And we've again mentioned these things in the past, but we're going to focus a little more on it because it's kind of, what do they call it? The cinch pin, the clench pin. I always mess up that saying about it's a pivotal part of making this whole program work. So hopefully you're signing people up on the phone. And I encourage you, if you're not super comfortable with that process, I really encourage you to. I have printed instructions that I have under worst case scenario that I have to send somebody, but I could send you those and you could print them out and you could type in between my instructions where you're going to be pausing and where you're going to be clicking to the next page. And you could put sentences and kind of bullet points to remind you what you want to verbally talk to them while you're signing them up. If you just feel nervous and not sure when to say what, make a script for yourself and follow it. So that's really helpful. And they encourage you to do that. But as you're signing them up, you're going to ask, who do you usually do fun stuff with when you're really excited about something or you found a really good product or a good restaurant? Like, who's your person? Who's your go-to person? Who are you going to let know that you're working towards new health goals? Is that your mom, your sister, your friend, your coworker? Who is it? And everybody has that one person. So you're trying to get them to give you those one or two people that they go on vacation with, that they holiday with. They're a person, they're Christina, what have you. And so at that point, you've kind of gotten a name from them, and right then is actually the best time to talk about it. You're like, that's amazing. I just want you to know, we could share this with her. If you're going to talk to her about it anyway, I'd be happy to kind of give her the details and she can get in on this sale. And I'm not sure if you're aware, but you're 85% more likely to be successful with your goals if you have an accountability partner. So Plexus wants you to have an accountability partner so bad that they'll give you a $35 cash back. Thank you for bringing your own accountability partner. How's that sound? Do you want me to talk to her about that? Like, would you be willing to let us chat? And so feel that out at that point. Now you're saying these things while you're signing them up. And Emily always encourages us that there will be awkward pauses, and like that's okay. You need to let people digest what you just asked them and what you said. And when you try to like nervously fill all the awkward pauses, it makes them feel nervous and like, well, if you're uncomfortable, then I should be uncomfortable. Like, what are you doing? So become comfortable with. And Emily said she even used to have scripts written where she'd write pause. So like, it's okay to pause and just make the person answer. It's never as bad as you think it's going to be in your head. So that's really the premise of this, where we're going to start right at the beginning on the phone, figuring out who their person is and jumping right into why they need an accountability partner and that you're willing to do the work for them. And can we call them right now? Are they free? Can we add them into the Zoom? Can we add them into the, like a Facebook video? If they're their person, that's not weird. Like your person, you call all the time with no warning if they like it or not. So Natalie is that for me. Okay, so we're going to go over a few other ways to get people, because that's not always how things go down. We would love that to be everybody, but we know that doesn't always go down. People don't always respond that way. We don't have time. So there's a few other methods we want you to do this with, because it needs to be your goal to get everybody an accountability partner, primarily because they're going to be more successful for a multitude of reasons. They have an accountability partner, and when they start seeing any amount of money come in from them just sharing, and it's not even them sharing, it's them giving us their name and we share for them, people are like, oh, that's nice. And then they invited a friend, and they don't want to just, usually most people don't want to just flake on a friend. So they kind of like, oh, well, if I ask this person to come, I should probably take the products too. So another way to do this is somebody asks them to post their journey. If they really don't want to give you a name, or they say a name, they're like, oh, but they are so unhealthy, they hate this stuff. And try your normal things like, oh, well, then that sounds perfect for them. Like, we should help them get healthy. And if they're like, oh, they're a health freak, they don't need this. Oh, I was a health freak too. I thought the same thing. So if you struggle with the answers to the common objections, talk to your upline. But asking them to post, and this is a big one we do, and it's important how you approach this, because your standard answer is going to be, oh, I want to wait and see if I like these or not, and I want to wait and try to get some results for myself before I start telling anybody. And you do the feel, felt, found. I understand totally. I felt the exact same way. But actually what I found is people really enjoy watching you go through a journey and like walking with you, and are a lot more intimidated by if they see you've already done this big journey and you're all successful. A lot of people feel scared and intimidated, and it's more vulnerable and real to kind of say, hey guys, I'm trying this out. I don't know if it's going to be any good or not, but have you guys heard of this? Like, do you want to try this with me? So explain to them why what they said not only isn't true, is actually counterproductive often with their people. Another thing you can do with them, and I really think you need to read people's personalities, because I have a lot of level ones, and some would be awesome with me getting on a call and me with a piece of paper and like, okay, tell me who's your favorite person at work? Who's your favorite mom friend? Like, let's make a list. And other people would be like, what are you doing? No. So sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. But if somebody's like, oh, I can't really think of anyone, because again, people will try to say that to you, then like follow-up questions. Well, who's your favorite mom friend? Like, which one of your mom friends can you joke with the most and make fun of the other mom friends? Don't say mean things, but like prompt them, dig it out of them. Everybody has somebody. Who are you texting the most every day? Also, sample messages. So here's the thing, I wanted to go over exact things that you can actually say to them with sample posts or sample messages. When you ask them to post, in the exact same breath you're asking, or in the same text you're asking, don't just ask someone to post. It needs to be together. Would you mind sharing your journey? For example, this is what my other friend just put up on her page, and whether they did recently or not, the point is you're giving them the wording. So my friend who recently signed up, this is what she put on her page. So many of my friends have traded their energy drinks, daily sodas, Starbucks for this right here. I'm so excited for the prebiotics. I'm looking forward to losing those crashes, calories, and weight gain. Who doesn't love that? So because whatever idea they have in their head about sharing Plexus is not what we want them to do. So not only are they really not going to want to, if somebody did want to and we just shoved them out there, often they're not going to do it the right way or the most successful way. So we want to give that to them, really spoon feeding it. And then other example messages, and we can get all this wording to you guys, so don't feel like if you can't catch it or write it down, I can email it. brand new person showing a post. So I'm not sure if you saw my post, but I just ordered the gut health system that helped my friend have better sleep and more energy and get rid of their sugar cravings. It's called Plexus. Have you heard of it? This is for messaging. There are people, if you've come up with a few people that they do stuff with, and they're like, well, okay, yeah, I have a few friends, and you're like, can we call them now? And they're like, I don't know, she works full time, so we'd have to reach out to her later. Like, okay, well, this is what I would say to her. Or you can start a three-way chat with both of us. Again, you kind of got to read the personality. Some people will start a group chat, and some people are very weird about it and won't do that. So you want to give them the wording. Another one, if they've been taking the products for a while, I really like this one. I send this to a lot of my people. This is for like us, existing ambassadors who are trying to reach out. You're not a brand new Plexus user. I'm not sure if you saw my post, but I've been using this gut health system and I've noticed less cravings, more energy. I feel less bloated and just better all around. It's called Plexus. Have you heard of it? So I have my thing that I've tweaked to me, and Natalie helped me edit it. So I encourage you to come up with whatever feels really genuine to you and give it to your upline, and they'll help with wording. Save that joker in a notes list. And that's what I send every single day after I post. I pick 3 names off my Franks list and I copy and paste that message. And then I don't look. I go do whatever else I'm going to do. It's done. My job's done. If they answer, that's great. If they don't, that's fine. But my job is to offer and to reach out. So it takes less work if you have it preset and you're saying exactly what you want, even if you've had a good day or bad day. So my point is, it's just ways to message people. So your first one, just to recap, we're going to get our +1 by actually at sign up. You're asking them who could be a good accountability partner. If you didn't get it there, you're going to ask them to post and give examples of how to post, what you're doing, and what this journey, what you're wanting out of this journey. What are they hoping to gain? The third one is like a minuscule Franks list, if that personality fits, and you're giving them sample messages to send to those people. And then step 5 and 6 of this list, I kind of merge together. So how I teach my people to use our send, share, invite system is I do that for them in a 3-way. I want them in a 3-way chat, and I want them to see exactly what I'm doing for send, share, invite, how I ask people their health goals, what videos I send, the follow-up questions, and how I'm going to share information and stories and invite them to either order or to an event or to gain a sample. So that kind of works. It's really 4 broad steps if you break it down and make it a little simpler. And the point of this is a lot of us have monthly goals of signing up 3 people a month, which is really realistic. When you're starting out, that can feel like a big, heavy lift. So don't be discouraged by that. It's like running or anything, you exercise that muscle and it gets a little easier every single month. And you're like, okay, I can do this. 1 month you'll have 1 person, the next month you'll have 6. It averages out. That's like my quarterly goal is I like to get, 9 to 12 people a quarter, because everything kind of fluctuates. But if we start pursuing each of these people to bring 1 friend, it's going to do 2 things. So if you're signing 9 people a quarter and you can get them each to have an accountability partner, you've now signed 18. Okay, so immediately we just doubled. What if, so say you signed 10 people and we're hoping for 20. What if only half of them brought someone? So instead of signing 10, you just signed 15. But here's the catch. They're 85% more likely to be successful, which means our attrition is going to plummet in a good way. So we will lose less people because they have an accountability partner. So it's really 2 things. Of course, all of us want to grow our business, but a lot of us are struggling with keeping people. And the way to fix that, of course, is good onboarding. But I think like our magic missing key here is accountability partners. And so it's going to help us do that lift. So it's not so much on us with perfect onboarding. And sometimes, like, no matter how good you onboard someone, if they're not ready to get healthy, that's it, with or without an accountability partner. But this is setting them up for success, and we can definitely do a better job at pushing, in a good way, pushing them to think about who can help them. And there was 1 or 2 other things I wanted to say. Here's the They gave some scenarios about what to say for people like, say me right now. I haven't done a great job at getting my people accountability partners. I haven't. So if I want to reach back to my people, what are things I can say? Because it's never too late. So I have a crap ton of level 1s and 2s I can go reach out to. And that's what I wanted to say, something about level 2s, 3s, and 4s. So here's scenario 1. I was sitting here thinking about how great it's been to see how well you're doing on your products. I know how much you love them, and thought about how fulfilling it is to see that in other people. If I were to host a short Zoom for you and some friends, do you think you could invite 5 to 10 people? I could even send them a sample ahead of time so we could all drink the drink on the Zoom together and chat about it. How does that sound? What do you think? Another one, I know you mentioned before that you might really want to get your products paid for. If I could show you a simple way to do that, would you still be interested? And then another one, this is a good one if you couldn't sign up on the phone or they were hurrying. I know you're in a hurry earlier and didn't have time to talk about it, but I couldn't let the day go without mentioning most people know a friend or two who need this. And I wonder if you just put it out there in a simple post, we could grab some friends to do this with you. And you can kind of mention like, it really feels so good. I'm so happy somebody mentioned it to me. Like, I can't imagine what my life would be like if somebody hadn't mentioned it. So these are just, again, planting seeds. It's like anything. Some people are going to be willing to do this right away, some people aren't. But this was something that Emily and Brooke talked about that really we've seen to be true with all the diamonds that we look at. You're super great business builders when you're on the stage and you're a diamond and your team, your 10, 15 main core team are around you. Many of them are not going to be level 1s. Okay. And so a lot of your really strong business builders could be level 2, level 3. We have to find them. Now, the level 1, some of the level 1s stay there and work the business too, and then some of them don't and they trickle away. But the point is, you can't think like, I am going to find all my amazing business builders. No, Sabrina has introduced me to some amazing business builders. Now, Sabrina is also an amazing business builder, but the point is I met those people through Sabrina. So you have to ask for the ask. Nat always says, like, you have not because you ask not. So you think deeper. And Kyla is the best at this. At tap rooting is what it's called. And getting to know your accountability partners of your people. Because you want to get these plus 1s, and these people, these plus 1s aren't necessarily business builders. But in your plus 1s and your plus 1 of your plus 1, you're going to find somebody in there. You're going to find gold in there. But you won't ever find it if we're not asking. And that aside, you're going to find somebody who was so unhealthy and miserable, they were thinking about committing suicide, and then they got healthy and they're not. So, I mean, that's a whole other side of it, how life-changing these products are. But there's someone out there praying for this financial situation right now. And so you need to kind of set your nervousness aside and go for the ask. That's it. I know Nat wanted to add some stuff.
So good. Yes. Yeah, like a couple, I'm like, the things we want you to take away is, I always say, I literally said this to my kid today at the store. I was like, you have not because you ask not. It's just a fact. If you don't at least ask these people, you are robbing them the opportunity to be 85% more successful potentially. Like, don't take that away from them. They're going to enjoy it so much better if they're already thinking about somebody, but they may or may not have the motivation or encouragement or whatever. Like, they're nervous, maybe they don't have that, they don't have the encouragement to ask somebody. So today, when I was signing up, I was like, we were just doing the training on this, and I was like, all right, I'm signing this girl up. I was like, hey, what I did was, hey, I'm about to have to go live in this group in, 15 minutes. So what I'm going to do with you is I'm going to just I have all of her info right here. I'm going to just get all of your information. And we have the ordering checklist, so you don't forget anything. I just was like, okay, hey, your name, your number, your address, your card number, I was like, and then I'm going to get your social, and that's just for tax purposes. And she was like, okay. And then she gave it to me. And I was like, and, along with that, this comes along with a referral bonus link. And I'm going to just set it probably something like your first and last name, but I'm going to send that to you after this. So you'll have that. So be thinking about, and I just said, I'm still trying to hone it. I was like, just be thinking about, anybody that, you would want to do this with. I know you could probably send it to your sisters. What do you think? And she was like, oh yeah, for sure. They need this. And I was like, all right, great. So we can get, send that to them. And then we can all get on the phone or do a little something and get them going with you too, because it's going to be more fun and we all know they need it too. And she was like, oh, definitely. So after this, she's open to it. I'm going to follow up and I'm going to say, hey, let's get your sister on the phone. Let's get her going with you. And she's probably going to say, okay. Not everybody is open to that, but you have to at least ask, right? And you can gauge people, and you don't have, if they're like, no, I want to get on the products first, you don't have to be weird about it. Just, okay, cool. I have definitely done this with people, and I occasionally still get nervous when I sign up people over the phone. I don't normally ever want to do it, but I do it anyways because it's the most effective thing. And I got that from Tova, where I just like write down their information, and honestly that's easy instead of going through it, but I make sure I touch all the same points, especially about assigning them their referral bonus link. Those magic words, people are very comfortable with a referral bonus link. And then the last point I want to make here is, once you get somebody, you're +1. So you have not because you ask not, and your job's not done till you get +1. Those are our two mottos now. You have to at least ask. And so the cool thing is you can then gauge somebody. They might be excited. So once somebody gets one, your next job is to ask if they have another friend. Okay. So just go baby steps at a time. You don't have to know everything. They don't have to be like, you have to sign up 10 people for senior silver. Like, they don't need that. They just one step at a time. And you just give people what they need and guide them through. People need to be guided through this process simply and normal. And Kylie told me, she wanted me to mention that when you're talking to people, it doesn't have to be weird. It is not weird. Just saying, and by the way, who's the person who you do all the things with? We should totally get them going with you. What do you think? And wait, the first person to talk loses. This is a long-standing sales thing, something I learned a long time ago. First person to talk loses. So just don't talk, just wait. And it's okay. Like, it might be a little, just let them think about it, and a lot of the time people will think about their mom or their sister or their best friend. We all have those people, and everybody needs plexus. So give them that opportunity. And that's all I've got for you guys. Thanks so much, Tova. Bye, everybody. See y'all on the next call. Y'all are killing it this month. We're on fire per usual.